Hey coders, welcome to lesson 3 of the HTML and CSS master course, Images, Links and List Items. Today you're going to learn how to add images with accessibility on a website. We're also going to look at links, how to use links to navigate into different pages on a website. And we're also going to further look at how you're going to use links to navigate to external websites like Google, css3x.com, backgroundremover.com. Not just that, we're also going to look at list items, how to structure the content in a website using list items, the unordered list items and the ordered list items. Grab the cheat sheet below, everything is broken down in the cheat sheet. So get ready to start building real web pages. Let's start with images, using the img tag. Images makes your website visually appealing, but using the best practice, which we're going to look at in this lecture. Let's start by creating the basic HTML structure. Advisable is for you to write it line by line, for you to get used to it. But for me, I'm just going to use the shortcut. Let's give it a title of Images, Links, and List Items. Now, to insert an image in a website, we need to make sure we have an image in the folder of the website. Okay, check out what I'm talking about. This HTML file we just created, it is all wrapped inside a folder called My Website. So now we need to have an image inside this folder. What we're going to do now, we're going to insert an image inside. Here we're going to drag and drop this image inside this folder we're working on. Here, as you can see, we have an image and we have our normal HTML file just created. Now we have two things inside the folder. Now in the workspace, so when you click here, as you can see, this is the file and this is the image. We have the two things we have in the folder. So if you click on it, now the image, as you can see now, it is appearing from the VS Code. Now to insert an image in a website, we're going to use an img tag. An img tag is unlike any other tag we have worked on. But if you can remember, in the first lecture, I mentioned that all tags have an open tag and a closing tag. But there are some few tags that just have an open tag. Now, img tag is one of those few tags that just have an open tag. Let me show you how it works and why it has an open tag only. Insert the less than sign, then put the img text, then a greater than sign. Now, this is everything you're going to need when it comes to the tag of the img tag. This is what we call a single tag. It doesn't have a closing tag. There's something in HTML we call the attribute. I don't know if you have noticed some attribute we have written before, but let me introduce attribute to you. Now, the way attribute works is, we use it in HTML. The way it works is, is the attribute name, a quality sign, and a quote. This is how it works by default every single time, but depending on different attributes. So to insert an image, we're going to use something called the source attribute. And this source attribute, we're going to insert it inside the img tag. So now, the way source attribute works is, the source, a shortcut for it is src. So you're going to write something like src equal to and a quote. Now, this is the source attribute. As I said earlier, that is how all attribute works. The attribute name, a quality sign, and a quote. So within these two quotes is where you're going to insert the image. So now, to insert the image in this source attribute, you're going to look for the image name. For the image you will have here to work with, this is the name of the image. So you're going to take this, the name of the image, and you're going to put it inside the quote for the source attribute. So now, if you start typing the name of the image, by default, if you have the image inside your folder, you're going to be given an option for you to click on the image. But in case if it doesn't appear, you can type the name of the image manually. When you do that and you turn on your live server, you're going to see your image appears on the browser. So this is how the image looks here. The image is big, it's filling up all spaces. The more we move further in this course, we'll start diving into CSS. I'm going to show you how you're going to now have full control over the image, how you want the size of the image to be, the structure, and everything of how you want to structure the image. We're going to look at it further on in the course. This pattern can work for every single image. So this is how you add images to a website. There might be some cases where your image in a website will not load in the browser. So now, it might be maybe the network or something might just happen that the image will not load. So if this thing happens, HTML gave us an alternative thing to use in case if the image doesn't load. Now, it is called the alt attribute. So now within this quotation, you're going to write something that describes the image in a text. So now, preferably, we want something short, but it describes the image. So that if the image doesn't load, a user has an idea of, okay, what this image might look like. For this image, let's use something like a lady's face. So now let's delete the image so that the image will not appear. When you do that now and check the browser, you're going to find out now the image is not appearing, but the alternative text now is the one supporting the image. But when you insert back the image and now check back the browser, as you can see now, the image now is appearing and the alternative text has gone. So now this is how the source attribute and the alt attribute works. They both support each other. Now let's look at hyperlinks, which are used to navigate between different pages on a website. Using links, we use a tag called the A tag. The A tag also works the same way as all tags. It has an open tag and a closing tag. We need to insert a text within this tag. Now, the text we're going to insert within these two tags here explains where our link is going to lead us to. Now, in most cases, the text that is expected to write here should not be like click here or join. Like, it should be something that will tell the user where the link is going to lead to. Something like search or click to Google or any other thing that explains where that link is going to lead to. I inserted a text of BD remover. This is a website that removes the background image of an image. So the name of the website is background remover. From the browser here, you can see the text that written BD remover, but it has not already been a link. So now let's make it now to be a link that will link to that same website, which is called background remover. So to make it a link, we're going to use an attribute called the href attribute. So now it works the same way as all attribute. The name of the attribute, equality sign, and a quote. So now for the opening tag of the A tag, you're going to go in it and write the href attribute. Href, equality sign, and a quote. So within this quotation, this is where you're going to insert the link of that website you want link to. So now I've already copied the link of this BG remover website. So I'm going to paste it within this quotation. So when I paste it here, now the BG remover text now has an underline in it. It is no more a regular text, but it is a link. That is why now, if you notice, it's having a different color. Now, when I click on this text now, as you can see now, it has taken me away from my local website now, the background remover website. And now this is how the website looks. So this is how you navigate from your local website to an external website. Not just that, that's the same pattern we're also going to use to navigate between different pages within your website. So that's how it works. On a website, you can see a single website. You can then navigate to the home page, to the about page, to the help page. So we're going to use the same tactics to navigate between different pages on a website. Now, let's make a simple example on how you're going to navigate between different pages on a website. But in this case, we're only going to use 2 pages. So now, we have an index.html page. That's the first HTML page. Now, within the same folder, we're going to create another HTML page having a different structure. To do that now, you're going to create an about.html page. This is like the about of the page of the website. If you want to navigate between different pages, you're going to create different HTML files. Let me create the basic HTML structure of it for us to insert the content and a link inside. Create a H1 and insert a text of welcome to the about page. Below, you're going to have the A tag. Now, this A tag is going to have the href attribute. When you insert the href attribute, before you insert the link now, make sure the text for the A tag now is saying where the link is going to link to. So now, for the text, I'm going to write now index page. Now, when you click on the link, it's going to take you now to index page. So when you see the index page text, now you know that now this link is going to take me now to index page. In the href, now you're going to insert the link of the HTML file you want to link to. Now, you're going to write the index.html file name. So the moment you write index, it's going to give you an option to fill up the rest because the VS Code knows it has a file named index.html. So by default, it's going to give an option for you to click on the index.html file. So even though if it doesn't appear, you should write it manually by yourself since you already know where you want the link to. So now this is the about page we just structured here. So now we're going to head back to now the index.html file and now also structure it the same way we did this one. As you can see, this was the earlier link we just created. So we're going to change the text now to about page, which means when you click on this link, it's going to take you now to the about page. When we insert the text now, we're going to now change now the link here, removal. So we're going to take it out. So we're going to say about.html. So for us to know that which page we are in, we're going to write a H1 that says now, okay, welcome to the index page. So when we click, now we know we're in the index page, and that when we click on the other one, it's going to have a text that says welcome to the about page, so that we will know that, okay, we're in the about page and we are in the index page here. So let's test it out. When I click on the link here, now it takes me now to the welcome to the about page, as you can see here. So when I click on the link back, now it takes me back to the welcome to the index page. As you can see here, this is how we navigate from one page to another using hyperlinks. Now let's look at how list items works. We use list items to organize content in our website to make everything now to be structured well. In the list items here, we have two sets of list items. There's the ordered list items and there's unordered list items. Now, each of them have their own use cases. There are different cases where you're going to use each of them. Now, the ordered list items, when you're listing things on a website, it goes orderly, like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. While in the ordered list items, it uses bullet points. Now, when you're working on the nav bar, in most cases, we use the unordered list items because we mostly use the unordered list items for navigation, sidebars, and all those things. But when we want to list some things in a website, list of something, we use the ordered list items because of its ordered form. It goes in numbers or in alphabet. Let's start with ordered list items, the one that goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now the way it works now is it goes like all tags we have worked on, open tag and a closing tag. Now, when you write the open tag and the closing tag of it, there's another tag within it. It's called list items. Now, for using the list items is where you're going to list the different items you're going to listing. Now, the way the list items works is it has a tag of LI. L stands for list, I stand for items. For each list items, this is where you're going to insert each text of the list. Okay, for the first LI, list items, within it, we're going to put a text of home. The second list items, which comes below it, within it, we're going to put a text of about. The third list items, within it, we're going to put a text of service. Now, in the browser, we're going to have 3 list items, which is going to be numbered number 1, home, number 2, about, number 3, service. So now this is how the structure of ordered list item goes. So let's create the same tool we did, but let's structure it now using unordered list items. Now the way we did ordered list item, that's the same way it goes. But in this case, we're going to use unordered list items. For the unordered list items, instead of the first tag to be OL, now it's going to be UL. So create the unordered list item tag, that's the first thing. Within it, that's where you're going to insert each list item. Just like what we did for the ordered list item. Each LI holding its own text. Let's give it same text as what we did for the first one. The first LI to have a text of home. Going to the second LI to have a text of about. The third LI to have a text of service. So checking the browser here, as you can see here, the upper one is the ordered list items. Now, the below one that has bullet point is the unordered list items. Now, so as you can see now, this is how everything now is structured. For the ordered list items, further on in the course, we're going to go through how you're going to manipulate the ordered list items. So changing it from 1, 2, 3, you can change it to A, B, C, to even different section to be ordered. and you can manipulate everything using CSS. In most cases, for the unordered list items, we use it for navigations. Like, just check out this site. As if for the navigation, we use unordered list items. And the reason you're seeing it going straight like this, we use CSS to manipulate its own style and how it's going to look. And when you're working on listing list items, you don't have a limit amount of list items you can insert. Just here, let's copy this and duplicate it multiple times. When you do that, from the browser, as you can see, we have multiple list items. So you can insert multiple number of list items. You don't have limit for it. When you're working on list items, especially list items for navigation, a list item that you're going to click on and it's going to take you to another page. We're mostly focusing on other list items. Now, to have an other list items to serve as a navigation, you're going to use it to navigate between different websites. Now, it means you need to have a link in it. So let me show you how you're going to use other list items to become a link to navigate between different websites. So this is a normal other list item with an li tag and a text inside. So now the best way to do it is to take out the text and insert a link inside the li tag, which is the list item tag. In the text here, you're going to write something like home, about, service. It depends on where it's linking to. If you do that here from the browser, as you can see, this is about text, but now it is not a normal text, but a link. You can use it to navigate between different pages. It also has its own bullet point, but we're going to take it out using CSS. You can use the same pattern for every other list items you're going to use. It's an unordered list item, but it's also serving as a link that can take you from one page to another. A list items, a link, and insert a text. A list items, a link, and insert the text. That's how it works for different list items. If I do the same thing for 4 different list items, home, about, service, and help, and I give each list item to be a link, from the browser, this is how it is listed, and all of these are now a link, not a normal text. When you're already used to it, the best thing for us as a developer is what are we going to do to make our work very fast? So in most cases, we have shortcuts to use. So let me show you how you're going to generate other list items or other list items using shortcuts. So to do that now, a shortcut to use now is, all you need to do is to write the UL, which is the other list item, or you can write OL, which is the other list items. Then a greater than sign. Then you write the LI. When you do that now and just press enter, it's going to generate something like this for you. That's a shortcut. Instead of you writing everything manually, this is a shortcut you use. From there, you can further on and insert a link inside with a text, and it's going to be a normal list item with a link. But there's actually a shortcut that you're going to generate on other list item, the list item, and a text itself all at once. So to do that now, what you're going to do is to write the UL, a greater than sign, LI, a greater than sign, and write A, which is anchor link A. Then press enter. Automatically, you're going to have the other list item generated, the list item generated, and a link inside the list item. Let's assume you want 10 different list items generated for you. You can also do that with one click. All you need to do now is the UL, a greater than sign, and LI. Then you're going to write times the number of list items you want. Click on enter. Automatically, it's going to generate the total number of list items you just inserted. Another tip I want you to take note is, what if you're working on a project and you have multiple images? Are you going to leave all those images in the folder? No, the best thing to do now, within this My Website folder, you're going to create another folder inside it. Now, this folder, its purpose is going to serve as a body holding the entire images you're going to use for the website. I create a folder with a name of images, and I insert all the images I'm going to use for the website and put it inside that folder called images. We're going to work on a simple project here. Now, the way this project works is, we're going to have 4 different pages. Each page is going to have a H1 paragraph, list items, and image. Now, we're going to use links to navigate between each and every one of these pages. That means we're going to have 4 different HTML files, which we are going to work on. Here we have a folder called images, which contains 4 different lists of images. Now, we're going to use each image for a single web page. For now, we just have 2 HTML files, index.html and about.html. Let's head to VS Code and create 2 more in HTML files. Let's start by creating a service.html file. Then we're going to add with a help.html file. Now, in total, we have 4 different HTML files. We also have 4 different images. Now, the images is held by a folder called images. Let's start with the index.html file. For here, we already have the basic HTML structure. We're going to start by inserting a h1 that says, this is index.html file. Now, below it, we're going to have a paragraph that has a basic text that says, you are welcome. Below it, we're going to create an ordered list items. Now, within the ordered list items, we're going to insert a list item, which is the li tag. Now, for the li tag, since we're going to use these list items to navigate between different pages, now, instead of like writing regular text, we're going to use links. So, insert a link within the li. First, we're going to start by writing the text. Then later on, we're going to insert the links itself. Since we're working on 4 different pages, now each page is going to have access to 3 of the pages. In total, it's going to be 4, but each page is going to have access to 3 of the pages, meaning we're going to create now 3 list items, which is going to have 3 different links in them. We're going to create the second one, linking to the service.html file. Now we're done with ordered list items. We're going to come below it now and insert the image tag. Now, within this image tag, that's where we're going to insert the image in this web page. Now, as you can see here, in this image tag, we have the source attribute and also we have the alt attribute. So now, first, we're going to select one of those images we have in the images folder, and we're going to use one of them to be the image we're going to use for the index.html page. From the folder here, these are the list of images we have. So we're just going to pick one of them and use. So now, normally, the way it works is when you have a normal image in a folder, you're directly going to insert the name of the image. But in this case, now the images are inside a folder called images. Now, because it has a body holding them, it is inside a folder, you can't directly write the name of the image. You have to specify that now this image is inside this specific folder, then you're going to write the name of the image. So now, the way it works is you're first going to write the name of the folder. Now, the name of the folder is images. Now, then you're going to write slash. The meaning of this slash, it means enter the folder called images and search for this specific image. Now, when you insert slash, now you're going to be having the list of images that are inside this folder. So it's from there that you're going to select the image you're going to use. Let's make the alt text to be water photo or something similar, just something that describes the image. From my own side, this is actually what I'm having here. I have a h1 that says this is an index.html page. I have a paragraph that says you are welcome with 2 list items. Below it is an image. Let's adjust the list items and the links we created. So in the VS Code here, let's make the first one here to be service. When we make the first one to be service, let's change the second one to be help, which is the help.html. Now let's make the third one to be about. The way I structured everything all depends on you. It depends on how you want to structure it. So after making the entire adjustment, this is actually what we're having here as the result. We're done with index.html file. This is actually all we're going to need for the index.html file. So now let's head to the service.html file. Let's do the same thing. Let's start by generating the basic HTML structure. When that is set, let's make the title of the page to be service page. Let's insert a h1 tag that says this is service.html page. Below it, we're going to have a paragraph that says you are welcome. Below the paragraph, we're also going to create ordered list items, just like what we did before. The first list item, we're going to create a link that will link it to index.html page. Below it is the second list item, which is going to link to help.html page. Below it is the third list items, which is going to link to about.html page. So after organizing the ordered list item, we're going to come below it and create an image tag. In the source attribute, we're going to insert the image for the service.html page. You're going to write images, which is the name of the folder of the image. You're going to write / which means go inside the images. You can select the image you want to use in the service.html file. For the alt attribute, we can write something like a lady's image. So this is actually everything we're going to need for this file also. So let's head to the next file, which is help.html file. The first thing we do, we're going to generate the basic HTML structure. And I'm going to give the title of the page to be help page. Like what we have done earlier, in the body tag, let's insert a h1 and give it a text. This is help.html page. We're going to come below it and insert a paragraph that says you are welcome. Below this paragraph, we're going to create ordered list items. Now, the first list item, we're also going to have 3 different list items. The first list item is going to link to index.html file. The second list items, I'm going to make it to link to service.html file. While the third list item is going to link to about.html file. We're going to come below it and insert the img tag. We're going to go into the source attribute, type images with a /, then select the image we're going to use for the help.html page. For the alt attribute, we're going to write a text of a photo of space. And this is everything we're going to need for this page also. So we're going to head now to the about.html page also, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the others page. So as you can see here, the about page also has the same structure we followed earlier. Like everything is the same, only it having a different content. Now everything is done. What next now is to link everything now together. So we're going to go back to the first file, which is index.html file, and we're going to link it to the rest of the pages. For the first list item, you're going to write the name of the file, which is service.html file. The second one is going to be help.html. The third one is going to be about.html. Now, let's move to the service.html file and also link everything together. The first list item, you're going to write the name of index.html file, which is going to link to index.html file. The second one, you're going to link it to help.html file. The third one, you're going to link it to about.html file. Now, let's move to the next HTML file, which is help.html file. We're also going to follow the same pattern. For the first one, we link it to index.html file by writing the name of the file. The second list item, we link it to service.html file, also by writing the name of the file. The third one, we're going to link it to about.html file. Now we move to this last HTML file, which is about.html file. We're also linking it all the HTML files we have. It's also the same pattern. When everything now is set, in the browser here, this is index.html file. Now, when I click this link, now it has taken me to about.html file. As you can see, it's having different text and also it having different image. When I click on the help link, now it has taken me to the help.html page. Different content, different image, different page. I believe from this, you have the idea of how to navigate between different images, different pages on a website. And I've also showed you how to navigate to external website using hyperlinks. By now, you should have ideas on how to insert images on a website, links, list items, how to structure a website using paragraph, headings, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Now, what I want you now to do is, with this we have worked on, I want you now to create your own personal web pages, and I want it to link to different pages, including to external pages. If you have done everything, I want you now to submit it through the Telegram community group using the hashtag submission. And if you're in my premium Telegram group, also submit it in that group, which I will review everything personally and I'll give you feedback on what to improve and what you're going to work on. We're going to go through it together. And if you haven't joined the Telegram group, the link to the Telegram group is below. And if you're also interested in joining the premium group, the link also is below. Also, take note, if you're submitting it in the premium group, use the hashtag premium submission. And when you're submitting it in the general group, you can use the hashtag submission. And also, if you're interested in getting information that concerns everything front-end web development, tips, tricks, tutorials, updates, and everything that concerns web development, the link to my newsletter is below. You can join it. You're not going to be overwhelmed with information. It's going to come once a week. Let's test your knowledge on what we have done. So just pause and answer these questions. Number 1. What does the alt attribute do in an image tag? A. It sets the image size. B. It describes the image for accessibility. C. It links to another page. Number 2. Which tags create a bullet list? A. Ordered list items. B. Unordered list items. C. List items. Number 3. What is the purpose of the src attribute in the image tag? A. It describes the image. B. It sets the image file path. C. Styles the image. 5. Which list items is best for step-by-step tutorial? A. Unordered list items. B. Ordered list items. Why is the alt attribute important? A. Speed up image loading. B. It improves SEO and accessibility. C. It changes the image size.
Let's meet in the next lesson. For more in learning web development,